Hello. Hello everybody, here we are back again, and this is gonna be a 1 hour live. In this live, the main goal is gonna be simply making the code better that we have written so far, of course with the help of AI. We will be just simply, that code is working, there is nothing wrong with that, but we'll test the AI like, okay, how much better the code actually be, the way we have written, the way AI suggests, and whatever improvement the AI suggests, ultimately any AI of course. We will be improving the code as per that, and once the whole code is improved, then we will be moving to next step. And first we will write code on our own, and then we will give that code to the AI, then AI will rewrite it as per it, like its own way. Then if we think like there is something to learn, there is something to improve, we will improve that. Otherwise we'll keep going through going like this only. As per the data, it's not that good. Let's see, I'm not sure, but the internet connectivity, I have to check this thing out, how fast is this right now. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. I hope I'm audible right now. Let me check. Yeah, I am audible. Well, I got 1 hour extra, not 1 hour extra, I had 1 hour, so I just thought of coming live. And of course after that it's not gonna be possible for me to be live, then I will meet you in the evening. Come on, give me a second, let me fix it. Here we are back, and right now of course the network connectivity, the internet speed is really fast. When I have a look at that, so here we go. It's gonna be like this. Yeah, this is the power of 5G if you actually have a 5G sim. Never mind, let's simply go ahead, and as per the plan we are gonna be simply doing the things. So the first thing, let's turn it off first of all. Okay. Tring and tring. Okay, some things saved. I was just saving some of the settings, and that's done right now. Let's open the code. Let's see the things how they are, make them better, and then simply go ahead. We will be going through files one by one, so it's not like we'll just go through them at once. That's not really possible, and we don't really dump all the code at once, and then AI is going to get confused. So we will be giving some parts of the code. Let's start it from the top. So how can we start it? Okay, so dist, I don't need to do anything, it's automatically generated. Logs, don't really need to do anything, but I wanna have a look at it. So these were the errors that we that I actually got. And combined logs, so these are the combined logs that I got. And this is amazing. So far we have been running the server like this, and these are the logs that have been getting saved in the file format. Amazing. And this is all happening because of Winston, that we are using the library npm package, and that's getting this job done. Okay, so wow. Then let's go to the source. Let's start opening them one by one. So first of all we will go through config, and the first file that we get here, that is config options. This is the file that we have. The simple goal is going to be give it to AI and ask the AI to make it better. That's it. Okay, so of course I have the subscription of perplexity comet. Okay, comet. So I'll be checking this particular thing out, and then see how the things are gonna be going on. 1 hour challenge. Wow, this is crazy. I know. Yesterday I hardly studied for 1.5 hours. Can you guess? And the plan is to study for 10 hours in a day, but I actually studied for 1.5 hours. But soon it's gonna be just opposite to it. Okay, by the way, Your goal is to make the code better for production. Okay, your production. Your goal is to make the code better for dev as well as production. Okay, so here we go. Okay, come on, I don't want this thing. Seriously? Close it. No way. I wanted to do something else and I got something else. What is this, by the way? How to implement secure HTTP only cookies in Node.js with Express? Never wanted this thing. Okay, got it. Is this gonna take time? Didn't really think that it would take time. Okay, by the way, this is how the result that we have got. What is it saying? Based on current pre-decision security, here's the improved version of the cookies configuration. So there's something that can be improved. Okay, we will improve if we think that something can be improved. So we will improve that for sure. Okay, types. Cookie options type. We can give it types. That's what we are doing right here, right? So let's keep it on the right side. First of all, cookie options type that's coming from there. Apart from this thing, it is saying that is the production. So instead of writing this code again and again, it's simply telling me that you can create a variable, and that's a good idea, by the way. So let's create the variable. We will make it better as much as possible. So is a production, whether it's production or not, and it's gonna be like simply copy paste of this particular code line. Control X and Control C. Done. And just gonna write is a production. If that's is a production, that means that's gonna be secure. If that's not production, that's not gonna be secure. As simple as that. Is production. If that's production, make it process.env production. Yeah, it is gonna be like that. And apart from this particular thing, it's gonna be is a production here too. So quite better, of course, better than idea. And optional add a domain in production if needed. Domain is production production env cookie domain. Cookie domain. What is domain? Domain in cookies. There's something I need to learn too. What like I improve. Let's see. The reason I'm asking this because I'm interested in some edge cases like whatever, maybe domain. Okay, how do browsers cookie domain work? Due to weird domain subdomain cookie issues, I'm getting okay, just a minute, 1 minute. Okay, here we are, because I must be able to see the domain section in here. So wherever I have the cookie section saved, where is cookie? Here it is. Tuding. I shouldn't show them, should I? Is that a good idea? I'm not sure. Showing my cookies, that's not a good idea. But I'm not gonna show the whole cookie, but this is the domain section that I was worried about. So at least I can show this much. So domain is google.com. Got it? It's gonna be like that. So due to weird domain subdomain cookie issue that I'm getting, I'd like to know how browsers handle cookies. If they do it in different ways, it would also be nice to know the differences. In other words, when a browser receives a cookie, that cookie may have a domain and path attached to it, that is true or not, in which case the browser probably substitutes some defaults for them. Question 1. What are they? Later, when the browser is about to make a request, it checks its cookies and filters out the ones it should send for that request. It does so by matching them against the request path and domain. Question 2. What are the matching rules? The reason I'm asking this is because I'm interested in some edge cases like will cookie for .example.com be available for www.example.com? Will cookie for .example.com will be available for example.com? Will cookie for example.com will be available for this? Hey, amazing. Manage cases. Will cookie for example.com will be available for another example.com? Will www? Okay. will be set a cookie for this. This will be able to set cookie for this. This will be able to set cookie for this, etc. Also, could someone? Oh my God. Okay, we can go through it. It's not that big, but let's see how the things are going on. The goal was something different, by the way, and here we are going through. Also, could someone suggest how I should set a cookie so that it can be sent by either this or this? I accelerate both this or this. Although there is the RFC 2965 set cookie 2 had already obsoleted RFC 219 that should define the cookie nowadays. Most browsers don't really support that, but just comply to the original specification by Netscape. There is a distinction between the domain attribute value and effective domain. The former is taken from the set cookie header field, and the latter is the interpretation of that attribute value. According to this, the following should apply. If the set cookie header field does not have domain attribute, the effective domain is the domain of the request. If there is a domain attribute present, its value will be used as effective domain. If the value does not start with dot, it will be added by the client. Having the effective domain, it must also domain match current request domain for being otherwise whatever. Who's gonna go through this much? So I'm using cookie package. That's right. Things are browser cookie domains. Looks like you are using. I know I am using ad blocker. Data cookies. Okay. In this article, we presented the role of cookies and their usefulness in the World Wide Web. We also explained the way that a browser decides to send cookies based on cookies domain attribute. What is this domain thing? Like the name. In this tutorial, we'll explain the way web browsers use cookie domains. A cookie domain is an attribute of a cookie whose value is a domain name, like google.com. The web browsers use this domain name to determine whether or not it should send the cookie in current HTTP request. We'll first motivate the need for cookies, then we'll explain the format of the attributes, format of the set cookie and cookie headers. Finally, we'll explain how the browser uses cookie domains and the other cookie attributes to determine when to send a cookie to a web server. Wow. The need for cookies. The Hypertext Transfer Protocol (HTTP) is the main one in the world. www. It is a client server protocol. HTTP clients or user agents like web browsers send requests to the HTTP servers. Consequently, servers reply by sending responses. Usually, a web browser sends. Okay, I know these things. However, HTTP status cookies are sent. A cookie is there for data that an HTTP server sends to HTTP client, for example, web browser. Well, it happens by default. Okay, keep. Domain in cookies. How to set a domain in cookie. Domain set cookie for subdomain. Okay. Let's make it in Node.js. Like this. Replace with the desired domain. Set cookie, response.cookie, my value. The options I'm giving in here. Domain is equal to .example.com. Other optional will expires. Max HTTP only secure same type path. Domain. this line is crucial. It specifies the domain for which the cookie is valid. Leading dot including a leading dot makes the cookie accessible to example.com and all its subdomain. For example, subdomain.com, www.example.com, subexample.com. Okay, so we can give it a domain, and if I'm using Vercel, so that's gonna be .vercel.com. Yeah, no leading dot. If you omit the leading dot example.com, the cookie will be only accessible to the example.com and its subdomain is there explicitly listed in the domain attribute. However, the more common implemented practice for making cookies available, whatever. Default domain attribute is omitted. The cookie defaults to the host portion of the current document location and not available on subdomains. Important in security, ensure the secure attribute is set to true if your application uses HTTPS, as this prevents the cookie from being sent over insecure connections. The same site attribute is important for mitigating cross-site request of forgery. CSRF attacks should be strict on based on your security requirements. If same site non-secure true is mandatory. Yeah. Cross origin request, if you are dealing with a cross origin request and need cookies to be sent in your course. Credentials true, that's true. Nah. To set a domain in cookie known as mandatory access framework. Okay, cookie parser. Here we are using this example for local storage, for local development. When typical local host and secure false as local host typically runs over HTTP. Domain is going to be local host. Okay. Secure for same site lags, that's true. By the way, here its same site is going to be none and secure is going to be true. Okay. Is it necessary to add domains? Let's see. No, it is not necessarily a domain attribute when setting a cookie. In most situations, it is actually a recommended security best practice not to it is actually a recommended security best practice not to set it. Here's a breakdown. Default behavior recommended. If the domain attribute is not specified, the cookie defaults to the exact host that set it. For example, API example.com, it will not be sent to any other subdomains. For example, this provides a more secure limited scope which is appropriate for most cookies, especially session tokens. When to use domain attribute? You only need to use the domain attribute if you want to explicitly loosen this restriction and make the cookie available to a domain and all of its subdomains. Amazing scenario. You have a main application www.example.com and an API on api.example.com. You want a user session cookie sent by the API to be accessible by the main application. Action: when setting the cookie, you would explicitly set the domain to prevent the domain. The browser will then send that cookie to all subdomains. Okay, for the security. If I don't set any domain, by default it's gonna be the best practice, so I'm not gonna set it. But okay, the good thing is that I learned about domain, when to set it, when we actually explicitly gonna set domain, and so that it covers all its subdomain. That is when it's needed. For now it's okay, maybe someday I will. Code reusability, strategies, production, added 9 message. Wow, here's an enhanced version. Okay, enhanced version. Cookie configuration optimized for both development and production. Development: secure should be false and same site should be lax. Allow HTTP, better for local testing. Okay, production: secure should be true, HTTPS only, same site should be none, required for cross origin flag. Okay. HTTP only, true, prevents XSS attacks. Secure is production, same site none, lax cross site protection. Wow, I mean, great. Optional specify domain for production subdomain sharing. If that's production, in that case process.env.cookie domain and wow, oh, what is this? If that exists, in that case domain process.env.cookie domain. That means here we are specifying that additional production recommendation environment variables add these to your variables node development node env cookie domain your domain.com optional for subdomain sharing. Okay, trust proxy configuration if behind other reverse proxy if production set. Okay, this is too much. If your front end and back end are on the same domain not cross origin. Configure constant best practices. Wow, whoa. Cookie configure max age session 1 day. Remember me 7 days. Long term 30 days. Name access token refresh token as const. Insane. There can be many improvements, but for now this much is okay. Let's go to the another one. Make this better. The thing is that we can add domain by default. Even this is gonna be fine, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, the another thing, how can I make this file better? I think it's gonna take too much time. That is something I hate. Advanced search with 10x search powered by top models, that is enabled, and just make it search. Research lab. Benji, okay, sorry. Okay, by the way, got the response in here, and this is how it's actually suggesting me to make it better. Let's see. First of all, the production thing, okay, got that. Origin check, true. This, oh my god, seriously. Let's read through it, go through it one by one, and then simply get the things done. First of all, it is saying that is production, get this production ready, production.env is equal to production. Okay, course configuration optimized for security. Hey, that could be better thing. Like in here, it was suggesting me to add domain, and if I don't add domain in the env file, it's still going to be all right. Really. Yes, that is true. Why not? Then do it. This particular section is going to be optional for sure, but if I actually do it, it's gonna be better. So it's going to be like this: dot 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 dot. I'm just destructuring it in here. String. Then first of all is a production. If it is in production, and process.env.cookie domain, if it exists, only in that case I will set the domain property process.env.cookie domain, something like this. So this is how it's gonna be going ahead. By the way, this particular thing I need to save in the env file. That is okay, not a big problem. Let's keep it on this side. And domain port base URL, front-end base URL, node env, something like this. And guess what? Not really, not like this. String. Optional cookie DOMAIN domain. Okay, that's gonna be optional. Well, whether I give it some value, whether I don't give it some value, it's completely up to me, but that is optional. But if I give it, then already I have written the code for it. So if it actually exists, that is production first of all, and if it exists, in that case I'm giving it this value. It's something like that. Well, that's actually a good option. So let's make it like this. Well, हाँ.
दीदी बात करना चाह रही हैं.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Alright everybody, let's continue from there on. We were actually working on making the code beta. So let's make that beta. And the second thing was the enhanced course configuration. So this is how I got the course config, dynamic, whatever. These many options that we got in here. First of all is production. What is the use of this thing? Get, post, put, patch, delete options. Get, post, put, patch, delete options. We have all these ones. We have origin check. We have true, credentials true, allowed. This is good for saving the course option. When you are sending the request, then it is needed. Is that right? Course option, it is mainly for setting the cookies. So credentials true means what is the use of it? Okay, enable cookie auth headers. Ultimately it enables the cookies to be saved. Okay, what does credentials do in cookie what course options? Let's see. In course cross origin resourcing option controls whether cross origin requests are allowed to send HTTP cookies, authentication headers, or a TLS client certificate. By default, browser block credentials in cross origin request for security reasons, but setting credentials to true or include allows these credentials to be sent, enabling authenticated access to resources from different origins. That means it allows if I'm setting credentials true, that means if the request is containing the cookie or a header or client certificate or something TLS, then it should let that pass, as simple as that. Allows authenticated request when to set true or include. It allows the browsers to include credentials like cookies with a cross origin requests. Okay, enable user specific access, allow sensitive actions, require specific security implications, risk of along credentials can expose your site to cross site request, forgery attacks, whatever. That's why it can allow another domain to potentially read specific browser level protection. Modern browsers have built-in protections like the same site cookie to migrate. Okay, what can I do in here? I'll enable cookies and auth headers. It just simply enables that. Okay, dynamic origin validation, that's all right. These are the things that we are actually getting in here. And allowed headers, methods, these are the methods. Allowed headers, content type, authorization, x requested with accept. Okay, I'm adding these values. I still have to figure them out. Why are they used? X requested with accept. X requested with accept. What is the use of this tool? Okay. What's the use? First of all, use of credentials true. Let's see. And then these things: exposed headers, allowed headers, exposed headers. There are many things that the options credentials to in your course options config enables the server to accept and handle requests that include credentials such as cookies, authorization, TLS, client server. This means that when browser makes a cross-origin HTTP request, it can send cookies or other credentials along with the requests, and the server will respond accordingly. Ultimately, it will allow it. That's okay. And apart from this thing, okay. Then use of this. The allowed headers X requested with accept in your course configuration have specific X requested with This header is primarily used to identify AJAX request. It is commonly set by frameworks like jQuery to the web server can check for this header to distinguish AJAX calls from regular browser navigation requests from submissions. This can be useful for security measures such as preventing cross request frozen since the header cannot be added across origin without a server permission codes and for adopting server responses JSON system depending on the request. Except this is the standard HTTP header indicating the media type that the client can process. Application doesn't text HTML. It tells server what kind of response format the client prefers. The server use this information to send the response in an appropriate format. This header is widely used in HTTP content negotiation to serve different representations of resources. In our course config, allowing these headers means a client can send them in cross-origin requests, which is necessary for the server to identify AJAX request using X requested with and understand the client preference by acceptor. Thus, this presence supports both security and proper content negotiation clause. And this complements the relationship through uses by enabling secure, authenticated, and context aware. This is crazy. I hope I'm audible right now. AJAX. The more I read, the more new terms I get to know, and then I have to figure those terms out too. What is the meaning behind that? These two things I saw them firstly for the first time. They are actually used, and now there is something called AJAX that I need to know about that too. The allowed headers X requested with and accept in your course configuration have specific uses. X requested with, this header is primarily used to identify AJAX request. Now what is AJAX request? What is this? AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It is a web development technique used to make web applications more responsive by allowing them to send and receive data asynchronously in the background without requiring a full page reload. This means that a web page can update parts of its content dynamically based on users' interactions or other events without refreshing the entire page, just like React does. AJAX works by using JavaScript to create an XML HTTP request object or using modern fetch API to communicate with the web server. The server processes the request and sends back the data, often in JSON or XML format, which the JavaScript then uses to update only specific parts of the web page. This results in faster, smoother user experience and reduces unnecessary data transfer and page reloads. Importantly, AJAX is not a programming language or a single technology. It is a technique that combines existing web standards such as JavaScript, XML, HTTP request, HTML, and CSS to build interactive and dynamic pages. AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. This is something new for sure. Where can I? Where should I save it? It is Brainly project, so it should be in this only 15 number. Let's AJAX, asynchronous JavaScript, asynchronous JavaScript. Asynchronous JavaScript. What is the full form of it? I forgot. Okay, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Okay, JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. This is the full form of it. It is a web development technique. This is just a technique used to make web applications more responsive by allowing them to send and receive data asynchronously in the background without requiring a full page reload. It is a web development technique used to make web applications more responsive. Okay, it is just a technique. Interesting. So let's do one thing. Convert it to text node. Where is that? T2. And this is going to be like this. Okay. This means that a web page can update parts of its content dynamically based on user interactions or other events without refreshing the entire page. That is okay. This is just a technique. AJAX works by using JavaScript to create an XML HTTP request object. AJAX works by using JavaScript to create an XML HTTP request object for using the modern fetch API okay, whatever, to communicate with the web server. So okay, it creates XML HTTP request object to communicate with the web server. The server processes the request and sends back the data often in JSON or XML format, okay, which the JavaScript then uses to update only specific parts of the web page. This results in faster, smoother user experiences and reduces unnecessary data transfer and page reloads. Importantly, AJAX is not programming language or single technology. It is a technique that combines existing web standards such as JavaScript, XML, request, HTML. I got to know about one more thing. Let's do this thing right here. This thing is done, and now there's another thing that I have to take care of, and that is what okay, good. What is this XML HTTP request? Tell me about this. Look, I have the knowledge. It's not like I don't have the knowledge. The thing is that I have been using them so far. Most of the things I haven't dug deeper yet. Like, okay, from upar I know, okay, this is that. But in reality, what it does, how it does, why it does, I still need to figure out. XML HTTP request XHR is a JavaScript API built into web browsers that allows web pages to send HTTP requests and receive responses asynchronously without needing to reload the whole page. It is a core technology behind AJAX, enabling dynamic interactive web applications. With XML HTTP request, you can create an XHR object in JavaScript, open a connection to a server specifying the HTTP method get processed and URL, send the request optionally with data, receive the server's response and handle it via event callbacks, update parts of the web page dynamically based on the response. Despite its name, it can handle various response formats such as JSON, XML, HTML, or plain text. Modern alternatives like Fetch API exists, but XML HTTP request is still widely supported and used in many applications. Example usage includes creating XML HTTP request, opening a GET request asynchronously, and processing the response once ready to update elements on the web page without reloading. This API is a fundamental for creating smoother and usable by on the web page, web by enabling asynchronous servers, communicate on behind whatever. Okay, cool down. Right now we are using fetch. I had better get an example. Give me an example. Okay, so we were trying to make the course code better, and here we are. In my whole life I haven't written a code like this. That means I should know it. Here is a simple example of demonstrating how to use a XML HTTP request object in JavaScript to make an asynchronous GET request to fetch data from server and update the web page without reloading. It works without reloading the page, like React works. Const XHR new XML HTTP response URL is this xhr.open get request URL true. Amazing. XHR on ready state function check if the request is complete and ready state for and sufficient is 200 for 200 const data parse XHR response check to do something with the received data document.get element by id. Oh my god. Give me an example using fetch. Oh, when do I need to add it to allowed headers? You need to add X request within set to allowed headers to your course, your front-end JavaScript. When your front-end JavaScript such as Ajax library or fetch request sends these headers explicitly in cross-origin request. For example, many Ajax libraries set X requested with HTML HTTP request by default to identify request as Ajax, and some clients set accept to specify the response format they want, like application JSON. The browser performs a course pre-flight options request because the request includes a header, so other than the simple ones like this in cross origins. This server must respond with those headers listed in access control allow headers for the browser to allow the actual request if these headers are sent by the client but are missing in the server allow headers. The browser will block the request with the course like with is not allowed by access control headers. In essence, add these headers to allow headers if your cross origin request include them manually or via libraries to avoid possible flight failure, and let browsers permit these headers. This is crucial when you want to adjust request on the server or control response time based on the accept headers. If your request don't send these headers, no need to add them. So this to allow headers when your cross origin front end request includes headers for identification, content negotiation, security. Oh my god, seriously, this is how we do it. Okay, so everybody, the thing is that we have to read more. Right now I came to know that you can send the content time and accept is gonna be there for sure. And up here we send this identifier as a JAX request. So we can send a request as a JAX request to the backend. And when we use allowed headers x requested with an accept and all, this actually accepts that request. And now what is the difference between both of them? Why we are using the first one and the second one? We still need to figure out. So ultimately we have to read a lot, as simple as that. It's been 1 hour, by the way. I have to leave for work, obviously. I don't really have any other option, but I'm gonna be catching up very soon in the evening, and we will be going through all these things. The thing is that if we are just simply working on the project, things are pretty much simple. Same things are getting repeated over and over. So it's time to dig deeper, know about those things really well, and once you know them, you will be able to work well. Having said that, as for writing the code on or on is concerned, once this particular application is done, we will rewrite the whole application without taking the help of AI at all. All the problems we face will be resolved by us only. We can take the help of just Google. That's it. So of course there's a lot to do. We can learn a lot, we can do a lot, and we need to have time a lot for all these things. So we will be getting all these things done very soon. For now, thank you very much for being with me. I'm gonna be catching up very soon.